Hello and welcome to a special Heroes World initial reaction video. I have brought together my fellow Star Wars fans, Jesse, Megan, and Scott, to talk about the first episode of Disney Plus's new series called Star Wars Vision. So how you guys doing tonight, folks?
Excellent.
Amazing.
Amazing and
Amazing.
excellent. Scott, what about you?
Yeah, doing well.
Doing well. Awesome. So, for those of you who do not know, Star Wars Visions just dropped on Disney Plus, and it is a series of, I think, was it 6 short animated features done by some of the top animation studios from Japan. So, first one is called The Duel, and we're going to talk about our initial reaction. So, here is the main character from The Duel. Looks kind of like a Jedi, but they've got a red lightsaber and he's got a handy little droid there. Super cool looking. This one was done by the animation studio Kamikaze Duga. Jesse, you said these are the guys that did Batman Ninja?
Batman Ninja, I believe, yes. It sort of
Right
looks like
on.
Batman Ninja too, with the samurai aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
Right on. All right. So in this episode, I'll give a brief synopsis. Again, definitely, I think you should check it out because whatever I describe is not going to match the visuals and the kinetic energy that was in this first episode. So in this first episode, we see bandits attacking kind of this lonely, peaceful village, and we have a wandering Ronin type character who happens to be there. And then, of course, he wants to try and save the day. Lightsabers aplenty, action aplenty. The duel, that means one-on-one combat between two sword-wielding individuals, and it was really well done. First things first, let me start off by saying, love the fact that this was black and white. No color except for the lightsaber blades. And
Very
did you
cool.
notice the laser, the blasts from the different guns and stuff? The special effects were basically the color for it. So yeah, really loved it. Stylized. It was just stylistic wonder. So I'm gonna go around the board. I'm gonna start with you, Scott. What did you think of this first initial episode?
You know, I didn't really know what to expect because I hadn't done a lot of reading on it other than like you said, hey, watch this first one. I knew it existed. You know, and I think most of my anime is very hardcore North American anime, not like classic stuff. So I wasn't sure what to expect. The art, like you said, was fantastic. The black and white and the color schemes with the lightsabers. I liked, you know, and again, we've talked to, or you guys have talked about this with some of the what ifs as far as the story, but like very self-contained story. Like you kind of knew, you know, beginning, middle, end, right? Like, and it did leave you a little bit wanting a little bit more, but in a good way, right? And I don't know if we're doing spoilers or not, but you know, just at the ending, like you know, you kind of mentioned you wanted to save the town. I'm not sure you wanted to save the town. I think there was maybe an ulterior motive.
Yes.
But the art style was fantastic, and like you said, it really hit the action. You know, I mean, it you know, fairly classic anime type stuff with big action. But I would say the color scheme, or maybe the lack of color scheme, and the artwork was fantastic. Self-contained story, well told, perfect.
Awesome. Jesse, what about you?
I loved it. Like you guys said, the color scheme, it reminded me a lot of what's going on with Marvel and DC right now with the, what is it, black, white, and red? Black, red,
Yep,
white, and blood?
the comic series, Marvel's doing them, DC's doing them.
Yep.
Even, I think there was a Red Sonja one coming out, so other companies are doing those. Yep.
This one was kind of black, white, and lightsaber colors, because all the colors were colors of the lightsabers. Like the lights were blue and green.
Yep.
Their lightsabers were obviously red. Story-wise, I loved it too. I think he had a red lightsaber because, like a Ronin, he lost his lightsaber and he's been disgraced. Because isn't that big in the
Yep.
Jedi code? You can't lose your lightsaber, like in
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Ronin implies like maybe he was a masterless Jedi, like he lost his Jedi master, right? And
I believe they called his little buddy there that cooked his tea called him Master Ronin too.
yes, he
So
did.
I think he's supposed to be a Ronin type character, and he's pieced together this Sith lightsaber because that's all he had. But yeah, loved it all around. Great story.
Cool. Megan, what about you?
I thought it was really neat because I used to watch a lot of anime, and so it reminded me of this one like super classic anime called Rurouni Kenshin, where it's good, right? So it's the same idea as like he's just a wanderer and he doesn't really want to do very much, but then when he has to, he fights and he's like so good at it.
Yep.
And the thing that I really liked was when they were fighting the duel, they didn't show the entire duel. At one point, it just sort of like panned away and then you could hear the sounds. So it left the viewers like we could imagine what the fight scene could look like. And so watching Star Wars, there's different styles of fighting, I want to say. As it gets more animated, it gets more like jumpy, like Yoda fighting like a chipmunk on crack.
Yeah.
And so like you're able to choose in your own brain what style of fighting you're actually doing. Yeah. And I thought that was really neat. I thought that was a cool artistic choice. But I liked it. I thought it was very well done. And I liked that they used characters that had similar likenesses to other characters that we had seen in the past. And I was like, do I know who that is? Like he looks familiar, but oh wait, he's not. He has Japanese armor on. It can't be the same person. Maybe he is. I don't know. And I thought that was really cool too. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job with it.
Definitely.
Speaking about the art style too, did you guys notice the film grain almost? How it was like an old retro and there was like the white lines popping up. Yes. And then with the when they did the blacks, there was a lot of cross hatching and it was kind of like a messy, like it was an old sort of book that you've seen in samurai stories before. I thought it was really neat.
Yeah, honestly, the aesthetic of it and just the quality and care taken to make it not only look old in some parts, but also I don't know how much you guys like really noticed. It's like, you know, the aesthetic is pure Star Wars. You know, even though there's wearing pieces of samurai armor, like the bandits when they come in, it kind of looks like a transport. Maybe it's a cross between a Jawa transport and a First Order transport. The bandits themselves had pieces of First Order armor, helmets, as well as stormtrooper helmets and stuff like that. So again, we don't know quite what time frame it's in, but of course bandits would have pieces of different technology. Then how cool were the village guardians? You had that almost like C-3PO type of assassin droid comes up with the big Gatling gun. You had the Trandoshan guy, and the Trandoshans usually aren't necessarily good, but they're fighting to defend the village. You know, I think they're called Weequay with the 3 eyes, that guy at the end. So all of that stuff, it just, to me, it was a breath of fresh air injected into Star Wars. Like, it's Star Wars that we can recognize, but as we've never seen it before. And I thought that was really cool because you can tell right away that it's anime. It's a very different art style. And you can tell like just kind of like the different pacing and also kind of different camera angles and how they decided to shoot the story. But then once you got into it and you're like, oh my God, I recognize that guy from Star Wars. That's a Star Wars alien. That's the thing. Oh, look at his droid. His droid is you know, takes off the hat and it's all recognizable. So I just love, you know, if you guys have watched any of our other Star Wars videos, I always use the term, it's the familiar yet different. And I really think that this particular episode and so far this series looks like they are going to nail it. It's the Star Wars stuff you love, but just seen through a different lens. And I hope that some of this creativity gets injected into some of the future endeavors of Star Wars.
It's probably the closest you could get to picking up a comic book on TV, right? It was self-contained, you know, like you say, it's like, you know, like 22 pages, right? Like, and, you know, great art, flip, self-contained story, leaves you wanting a little bit more. But if I never see this again, I won't lose a lot of sleep. It was entertaining, and it was really easy to watch. Amazing visuals, and I'll move on to the next one. Right? It's like picking up a quick comic book. Great read, great art. Cool. I'm done.
Yep. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. So our first impressions so far, we've loved this first episode. So I would like to close this discussion with a little bit of a spoiler. So if you guys haven't watched this, you might want to turn it off now. But going forward, spoilers, I want to ask everybody's opinion. Was the character at the end, the main character who lives, the male Jedi, was he a Jedi or a Sith? And I'm going to start with you, Jesse.
We talked about it earlier. I initially thought he was a Sith, but now that I look back on it, I rewatched it. I think he's a Jedi that's been disgraced, that lost his lightsaber and had to piece one together.
Okay, Scott, thinking the same thing.
I was gonna say, like, fallen Jedi trying to avenge whatever made him fall, and like retribution.
Yep, very cool. Megan?
Yeah, same idea, especially because he gave the kyber crystal away and he was like, this will protect you. And I was like, that's cool, because he seems to just be collecting them, maybe to hand them out to protect other people. And like you said, like sort of penance for some of the stuff that he's done in the past. So I thought that was really neat. So I think he's a Jedi. Definitely.
I think I like what you guys talked about, like the disgraced Jedi or a fallen Jedi. The one thing that I think kind of tipped it for me is even though his saber was red, we traditionally think of Jedis having the droid companion, and this particular droid very much like R2-D2. But I really liked what you brought up, Megan, the last line that he delivers when he hands the kyber crystal. He's like, this will ward off the darkness. And I love that. And when he opens up and he's in his jacket or his robe, there's several of them. And I'm like, man, we have never had, sorry, I shouldn't say never. In all my Star Wars videos, have not heard of a Jedi that actively hunts and kills Sith. And I'm like, that in itself is super cool. So if we got more story, like an episode before about why he's doing that, or an episode after where maybe the Sith are onto him, like he's kind of the inverted version of like a General Grievous. General Grievous was collecting lightsabers from all the Jedis he's killed. Even it was implied that Boba Fett had killed Jedis and kept the trophies. Now we have a Jedi maybe doing those things. So super, super cool. Again, very, very good start to the series. I'm going to recommend that you check out Star Wars Visions. I think you guys all agree. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So there you have it. A quick little reaction. Our initial thoughts on Disney Plus's new series. You can watch all of them. They just dropped all of them. They're not week to week like some of their other stuff. And it was fabulous. I'm going to call it a breath of fresh air. Hopefully it gets injected into some of the other stuff. But what a year we're having for Star Wars content. I think if you like Star Wars, there's got to be something that you are going to like. So keep it right here for all our cool Star Wars stuff. We're doing our book club on Heir to the Empire, the Thrawn trilogy. We are now on book 2, Dark Force Rising. We are talking all kinds of stuff on the Heroes World podcast. That's every Sunday. John and Rob got the Sidekick Show on Mondays. And we are doing a Why the Last Man book club as well. And that's on Friday. We are on book 2 this Friday. Heroes World Online. That's where you need to type up. And Megan's reading it too. Awesome.
Nice.
Heroes World Online. That's where you're going to find us. Keep it locked on there. Please like, maybe share, or consider subscribing. Hit that bell so you get notified with all our crazy cool content. But until then, may the Force be with you. Check out this series, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, and have a great evening.